everybody, and we messed up Instagram again.
Favorite part of the show, Heshy.
Welcome to the Just Enough Heshy show. I hope we have something good on Instagram over there, and we're ready to rock and roll. I want to again say hello, Tom. How are you? Welcome back to the show.
I'm great, Heshy. Hope your Instagram's better than.
Well, we got one Instagram up, but the little Instagram is not going to get it anyways. And we have George, my campaign manager, my friend. How are you feeling, George? How is everything?
Great.
I can't hear you at all on the microphone.
Uh-oh.
Great.
And George, I bought you a tea with lemon.
Yes. It's kind of fruity. It's a little fruity.
George means a gay tea. I got him. It's not gay, George.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
Okay.
He said whatever. George used
Happy
some
tea? Is it happy
right.
tea?
George used some kind of bad word when we started the show about the tea. We're here this week. We have a lot to talk about. Instagram fans, my YouTube fans, and Facebook fans, welcome back to the show. And I want to talk about, I had a big trip yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched it. I did post it on YouTube. I usually post 2-minute videos.
Yes.
This time
Saw
I
it.
posted a 9-minute video. I really had a good time. I was screaming and arguing, and I had kids.
Just a normal day for you, Heshy.
Normal day, yeah. But I had kids around. I mean, you're talking, I'm in a different city, a different town. I'm being attacked by people wanting selfies in the hundreds. They're my fans. I said, just vote for me. Vote for me.
I don't think they're in the district, though.
No, there was a lot
one.
of But I met people from Norfolk, Virginia. I met people from St. Louis, veterans, seniors, young people, kids, people from all over the country that came out.
What
So
about
proud.
those self-aiding?
So everybody was screaming at them. They were surrounded. They had their own police. They had like 10 or 15 police officers. They were surrounded, and people were screaming at them from afar. And somehow I got under the line, and then the police sent me away. And then I went back, and then they actually did a small interview with me. I only played one part of it, but I should have played more when they called me names, and I made fun of them, and everybody surrounded them, and I called them Nazis and drug addicts, and they need help. People just loved it, And,
A friend of mine said they're like a cult.
They are. They're
Yeah.
very sick. But they actually knew my name. I couldn't believe, Heshy Tischler is a Nazi and he's a Jew. They called
they're
me,
listening
I
to
don't
the
believe
show.
in God. So, no, right. So I asked them to watch
Wait.
my
They
show.
called you a Nazi?
Yeah, because I want to save the Jews and and I'm going to kill the Arabs. So Nazis are killing their Arab friends. Whatever. Idiots. And they brought their children with them, but they came out like 100 of them, which I've never seen. Usually I see 5 or 7 or 10 of them. Like 100 of them travel to Washington.
They come to Bay Ridge when the Palestinians have their.
They were never so big.
get-togethers.
I guess they make so many children that they're able to have more people in their organization.
Interesting.
We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of subjects, and I'd like to talk about what happened in Washington. There was 300,000 people that showed up there, which I was so proud.
Did you hear about the 70 buses didn't show up at all?
Yes. You believe that?
Yes.
There was a plane that apologized. I saw a video, and by the way, we already did. No, a lot of people didn't come on, but there was a guy, a pilot, on a video that apologized for these buses that walked out on them. You know that, Tom?
You know what? I was talking about that before.
But they found other buses for them. That was very nice of them. See, anti-Semites just want to hurt you for no reason. There was nothing for them to gain. Nothing for them to gain.
Well, there's some people that are really sick out there, literally.
I know, I hate this. Anyways, let's welcome our listeners to the show. Tom, who's joining?
620 WSNR, AM 1640 WJPR, and can never forget about 93.5 FM WVIP, just like the old Pamela Anderson show, VIP. And if you want to give us a call, also, you can do that at 646-974-1580. We have a lot to talk about tonight, so join the
I'm
conversation.
going to say it again slow because Tom
I think
goes
that was
to it.
pretty slow.
I'm going to
Heshy.
do it again. I hope they put it on the screen. 646. What's the number? 974.
You can do it like
Why are you interrupting me?
1580.
1580.
46.
No, stop it.
97. Remember, like in football, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 974 1 Well,
Nicole did it much nicer. By the way, our co-host Nicole, our legal the person doesn't want to come back to the show because like 900 of you sent marriage proposals to her. She got scared. Guys, that was a joke. She should get married. I wanted to get married again, but it wasn't a real proposal for you guys to, no, I'm joking.
Two of my friends, I asked them, how did I do on Heshy? They're like, who's that Nicole?
Right, they're only interested in Nicole. You know what I mean? Like people are looking at me. We're not looking at you, fat man. You're not even fat anymore. We're just looking at Nicole. Nicole's going to call into the show anyway.
And Nicole, I believe, is being recognized as an Athena finalist of the year, I believe.
Yeah.
So she'll talk about that.
That's very good of her. But we have an interesting show tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about my trip to Washington. I went with 2 district leaders, and we had a nice chat how they're going to support me in the next election. A lot of people knew that what happened to me in the election, and I want you all to know I'm starting a new committee. I'm going to be begging all of you for money. So
it's almost like nothing ever happened, Heshy. It's the funniest thing. It's like nothing ever happened.
You know what, my brother? I went back to work. I have inspectors calling me. I have my soup kitchens. I have the money to go. I have people coming to the house. My life doesn't end. I mean, George is not happy on the next campaign. He's going to make me work harder. Like he said, I didn't work hard enough. He's going to make me not.
It's almost like Rocky IV when Rocky's going up in the Soviet Union and he's training. That's going to be like George with you, almost like making you go running like the blizzards and all that stuff.
Rocky III had that.
No, it was Rocky IV. It was Rocky IV. Yeah.
Well, I would think we would get a lot of votes if you just run from one end of Borough Park to the other.
I do that. I'm around all the time.
Tom will play the music.
I want to give a couple quick shout-outs before we start the show. My granddaughter, Mira Nava.
Favorite part of the show.
I got that. Layla Tamar, Yeshua, my grandson, who this week, and I know you see, my dear friend Georgia has a little girl, but again, she's only 10 years old, so he still remembers. Whatever. You know why he says she's not little? Because she's now learning how to suck him dry. Good for you, George. George thought $1, $2.
Poor George.
Now this girl wants $30 for her nails only. I love her. Good for her. But I trust me. I know my son doesn't ask for. He asks for thousands. But my grandson took his first steps by himself. He started walking without crawling. We were all excited. Big deal. You know what I mean? But yeah,
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I know that. And what? My son called. My grandson called. I don't know who Susie is. Who's Susie?
We have a caller on the line here.
Oh, Susie. Do you mean Nicole? Oh, God. He doesn't even know her name. Anyways, I want to do my shout-outs to Ellie, Sergeant Peter, and Tom. Who do you got to shout out?
How about the guy you spoke to yesterday, my buddy Josh Bailey?
Yeah, I like Josh Bailey.
In fact, Josh, I was trying to get him to come by the studio today because he lives not too far from me, but he said he wasn't going to walk over. Yeah. But I want to say hello to Josh. Also want to say hello to my mother, Anthony Finkel. Anthony Finkel here, we said he would tune in later on, so I wish them well. And everybody else that's about to come on. But I think we got a caller, so forget about the shout-outs here. I think we have a caller.
Right. And also, by the way, we have to shout out to, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Dimitri Kugel, who's trying to.
Oh, not Dimitri. I thought Heidi you're going to shout out.
No, we did that last week.
And you know what? We told Heidi I made fun of her name and she laughed. She's a cool chick.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Dimitri Kugel for trying to shake things up here with the Brooklyn Republican Party.
Very good. He's the one who drove me there and back. Never said the word. He's very cool. I like Dimitri. It was very nice. We hung out together yesterday for about 10 hours.
You were on a ride. You didn't talk in the whole ride?
I did talk. They even made a video.
Believe me, he talked.
I was going to say.
Well, they don't get a lot of hits up, but when I was in their video, he got 1,500 hits before we even turned around. Wow. Dimitri, hello, Dimitri. Shout out to you. And I didn't even make my joke and quote. So go ahead, put the caller on. You on? She's on? Hello?
How you doing, Nicole?
Nicole, how did you get the award, Nicole?
I did, and just so you know, it takes a lot more to scare an Israeli girl away. You know, Heshy, if you missed me, all you have to do is say so.
I love you, Nicole. Yes, we miss you, baby. We miss you. You listen to me. The whole week, people are calling me. They don't care about my election. They don't care about the show. Nicole, Nicole, Nicole. Who the hell is Nicole? But you're the star now, baby girl. Good for you.
Good question to ask is always the most important one. Who the hell is Nicole? Hey, no find out.
Well, they know. You know what I mean? This week, George is so happy you're not sitting next to him because they're actually going to notice him finally. Can you please put George on the screen now? And they only have the camera facing you. George is here. We're going to put the camera on George.
And by the way, while we're here with Nicole, I actually wanted to give a plug for the Crossroads Recovery Center. It's a rehab center that's ready to help you start your path to recovery from substance use, and also it specializes in medication for assisted treatment, and it's also one of the more accessible and convenient comprehensive programs around that. They're in Toms River, New Jersey.
Toms River, New Jersey.
Yep.
Do you have a number? Do we call them?
I have here, they're at 751 Route 37 West, Toms River, New Jersey, 08755. They have high quality care available.
So this is like a rehab or drug, you know.
It's mental health and substance abuse, from what I understand, and they serve the Lakewood and Borough Park communities.
Oh wow, very good. I think I did hear of Crossroads. I just never paid much attention to it because I'm upset that we don't have any drug treatment centers in my neighborhood, and we have some serious issues in our neighborhood. And even though I got rid of our last drug dealer with a bat, but I did. I want you to know, George, and Nicole, there was a drug dealer right here on 43rd Street, right next to Carmen Yeager's office.
Oh, 16th.
Well, between 14 and 15, Carmen Yeager, and I couldn't believe he was selling it to my kids, and I screamed at him and I hollered at him. And one day I just said to the assemblyman, our councilman doesn't care. I went over to the place, I banged on his door, I held the bat, I said, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. He says, I'm a drug dealer, I can kill you. I said, come kill me, but at least I'm going to
He actually said, I'm a drug dealer?
He did. He knew it. I knew it. I know who he was. He was selling drugs in the middle, no shame, in the middle of the neighborhood to 16, 17-year-old kids.
What type of drugs are we talking about?
Here, if I could give a quick shout out.
Sure.
And a big mazzel to George Weitengruber. He's the founding member of my firm, and that's the reason I'm not with you guys tonight. He just won the Man of the Year for Promotions, which is an independent living center in New Jersey, and I was here to celebrate with him.
Congratulations.
It's his birth. Why is he congratulating? What did he got an award also?
He was Man of the Year.
Oh, Man of the Year.
Yeah, he's the Person of the Year, and I will be right back there next Wednesday to give you all the hell in the world.
Well, can I ask you? I want to ask you a question, Nicole. He's Man of the Year. You really changed it to Person of the Year? Really? Is that crazy?
Well, that's because it's not necessarily an award for Man of the Year. It's person. It just happens to be a man this year.
Okay.
Heshy, what happens if they're non-binary?
This show does not accept transgender in any possible way. Even Nicole doesn't accept that. Nicole, we love you and we miss you. We can't wait for you to come back next week so we can make fun of you to your face.
Looking forward to it. As long as it's to my face and not behind my back.
And you better laugh at my joke, even though you're not going to be on the air, because that's next.
Talk to you soon.
Bye,
Okay, I'll see you
Bye.
next week.
Absolutely.
I love
That was
it.
Nicole Suissa, and of course, she is on Instagram
And we got
at
to
Nicole
get that
Suissa.
phone number for Crossroads because people like to call and find out.
Yeah,
information
I
beforehand.
didn't have one, but we will have one next week. And I also wanted to point out one thing on Crossroads. I believe we'll be eventually speaking with the head of that organization here soon on
Good.
Just Enough Heshy.
I have a lot of questions for him. I have a lot of questions for him. I'd like to talk to him.
Good.
Anyways, let me give you my quote. You
All
know, we have a lot of terror stuff. We have people that are scared. They're telling me we're going to have a terrorist attack here. We had the terrorist attack in Israel. You know, a couple years ago, France, I don't know if you guys remember, bombings in the middle of the place. I mean, it just doesn't end. That's why, and this idiot, Trudeau from...
Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau.
With the Montreal.
People are
incident.
screaming at
Yep.
him on the streets. I mean, this guy has no mercy whatsoever. I mean, he doesn't. How is he still the prime minister? I mean, how do they keep?
Because
people hate him.
Because
People hate him.
in Canada they have like these weird ways to call elections. So basically, it's different than here in America. The way they do elections in places like Canada and the UK, they tend to call them whoever the party that's in control basically tries to set the election in a way that keeps them in power. Almost. That's
Well,
They
Israel
also
had-
vote in block, so
Yeah,
they
but
don't.
True.
Israel had that too, but now with all those little different things, it's very hard for Israel to control it. Anyways, here's my quote, and this is a quote by Winston Churchill.
all right.
Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there is no survival. So, Israel, you just keep fighting. Victory, there's no question on ceasefire, no peace. Kill, crush, destroy. Because if not, they're just going to keep terrorizing us. And Winston Churchill was right in World War II. And the Nazi people that were, those Nazi people, the people who lived in Germany, don't tell me they didn't know what was going on. And everybody's going to say innocent bystanders and Palestinians. You now see today a video of one of the colonels and generals going into the hospital, showing you guns and bombs and tunnels. So whatever you don't believe, and they still don't believe it. We show them physically, and they don't believe it.
Did you see that woman whose husband had just died? He had just got killed in the action. He was a Palestinian guy, and the wife was like ecstatic that he was a martyr, and she was like, she was ecstatic, and she wanted to have her children be martyrs too.
But you know what the problem with that is?
I mean, that's crazy.
I'll tell you why the Palestinian women don't care. Because when a Palestinian man dies, he gets 90 virgins. And this way, these Palestinian women don't have to sleep.
A friend of mine used to say, I'd rather have, it's actually 72.
72?
And he said, I'd rather have 71 porn stars than one virgin to clean up.
I just said clean show.
We really have turned into the Howard Stern show.
It's
no longer the
But I want you to
show.
know something. Let's just forgive all the Palestinian people for everything they do. Like the Nazi people in Germany, they claimed they didn't know what was really going on with the Jews, which is a lie. But you have videos showing how they brought tortured, kidnapped people and dead people into their town. They didn't even hide. You're right, maybe they can't go against the organization Hamas. These people in the streets kicked that dead body, spit on it, didn't say a word, didn't report back, knew that they're being held. They could have run away, they could have left. Look, they're leaving now. So either go then or go now. They actually beat and tortured and killed and were part of the rapes. No excuses. Those Palestinian people are not innocent bystanders. And when I go to Gaza next week, I'm hoping, I know that they're going to laugh at me. That you can't
Tom,
go.
we have insurance on Heshy?
Heidi already. Your wife took some out on me already. She said, screw George, I'm going to go straight ahead. You know what I mean? I want that $1 million.
Well, me and Tom want to be the beneficiaries.
You're not going to get much. Linda already took it all. So you don't think I'm worth anything.
So you're really going, huh?
Right. And by the way, Yitzhak Rabin, an Israeli prime minister, said, we must fight terrorism as if there's no peace process and work to achieve peace if there's no terror. Hey, I have no problem with peace. We gave them the whole Gaza. George, do you understand? I know the West Bank before you do and Tom. Tom wasn't even born, the little picture. But I was there. I saw a beautiful, gorgeous resort area. And the Jews walked away. They didn't destroy the houses. They didn't destroy the buildings. They gave people moved in for free, had everything. And look at it today, destruction, rubble. And it's all because of them. I don't know. I do want peace. But I want my people back. And there's no question. There's not even though they killed our 1,400 people, there's not even a discussion of peace till they give us back our hostages.
But no,
Heshy,
they shouldn't be.
I got to ask you, though, Heshy, because this is how you basically previewed the show coming up, sending it out earlier this afternoon. Is World War III upon us? I mean, according to Josh Bailey, by the way, our buddy Josh Bailey, he says we should have it, and he thinks it'll be great.
Well, you have to...
Okay. Wait, he thought it would be great?
He thinks that basically that it'll be like a movie. He thinks Vince McMahon should write it. He's a wrestling fan.
The problem is billions of people will die. I
100%.
understand if it's in a small area, World War III, and we all go into the middle of, Germany or whatever and blow it up in Iran. But here you're going to affect the whole world. The reason why I'm saying World War
And Christopher Messi, by the way, last week on the show, he said that he had spoke with a number of senators, and they were concerned that World War III could happen. So, I mean...
You have China sending their boats, and China has nothing to do with the Middle East. You have Russia coming out there to watch that Suez.
Can you guys imagine, though, this generation? I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the Tom Hanks movie with the Normandy Beach.
Yeah.
Remember, they're jumping onto Normandy Beach. Can you imagine this generation doing that? I mean, honestly, let's be honest here.
You know what? Guys like you and me, or even these great athletes, they're all wussies. You have guys who have joined the Navy SEALs or guys in the Army who shouldn't be there, but they have the I forgot the word for it. Not the guts, but
patriotism.
Not the patriotism, but like even when they're tired and exhausted, and you never expect it out of these weak little guys, they go the step further.
They have like an adrenaline rush.
That's right. These are the guys. There's so many out there that do care about America. Yesterday, when I was at Washington, I was in they didn't let you into the separate area. Dimitri somehow got his special passes, and he was able to walk in.
Well, he told me you didn't hang out with him.
He ran away from me because he didn't want me to take pictures. That's why I'm there. I'm taking taking pictures. So I was taking pictures. He ran away, and he got in first. And, of course, me and my nephew were stuck. But there were so many people on the outside, they know me. And I liked making fun of meeting the people, that we had a good time.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram.
And
You
I
actually
ended,
showed
I was, whatever you saw the 9 minutes, I had 2 hours of content. How I edited it took me a whole night.
I mean, you of all people? I mean, you actually edited it in that way? Wow, okay.
Yeah. It was, and we ended up, me and my nephew, we got in as a press, and we also got some bands, and we went around, and I met a veteran from Norfolk, a real veteran. I mean, talking a guy who fought in the wars of America. Wow. And he was so proud. I asked him to come to Brooklyn. He says, I'll come watch your show, but I'm not a Brooklynite. He hates us. But he supports the Jews. I met 3 black women who said blacks for Israel. They had to sign there. And
I gotta tell you, I spoke to one of your constituents today, and she was saying that in her church, in our district here, that she's been leading a prayers for Israel chant. There's a lot of people that
Can I ask you guys? I ask you this question? What does the future look like after this rally? For the Jewish community here in America.
The rally was nothing to change. The rally was, we wanted to tell you, first of all, only 20 or 30,000 Palestinians showed up for their rally in Washington. And the guards told us, and Dimitri, they destroyed that lawn. They destroyed it. They were like animals. We had over 300,000 Jewish and regular people come to this rally. Beautiful, kept clean, not destroyed, orderly, no wildness. We chanted, we sang songs, we had speakers, everything in an orderly manner. And one ex-CIA guy met your friend Dimitri, told him how, wow, we don't even need security for these people, except for those animals that were screaming, kill the Jews that said that. You're talking, we ran a beautiful rally just to show the world, listen, we know what you're listening to. Now listen to us. And we're not going away, and we're going to tell you right now, yes, we do have money, we do have power, we do have people, and look, we come out in force too. So be ready. If you come after us, we will be ready. And these people that came there yesterday, they were angry. A lot of them were angry, and they were saying, listen, we're going to fight back. And I was so proud when I saw them. Dimitri says maybe 100,000 people were there. I'm telling you, I saw the crowd, and I was there January 6th. That was over 300,000 people. And at the end, the Post and other people did report.
How did that make you feel as a Jewish American?
It made me, not as a Jew, it made me feel good as an American.
I said Jewish American.
A Jewish American, that people came from all over the country. St. Louis, Minnesota, Kansas City. One guy from Tennessee and another guy from Texas, a very nice guy, Jack.
Daniels?
No. And his daughter,
a lot of Jewish friends told me that went to the event, including Dimitri, said they had a lot of Jewish pride.
Right, and all over it. But even the non-Jews had beautiful things. And then I met this guy with a Down syndrome daughter. He was like in shock that I sat and spoke to him for like 10 minutes and made a video with him. And then I explained to him that my sister with Down syndrome, and Emily, his daughter, fell in love with me right away. And he didn't understand.
No accounting for taste.
Okay, but I'm saying, but Down syndrome girls are very careful that they're watched by the parents. And I said, yes, I know what it's like. And I was so proud of him. And he had the cowboy hat, and he had that little accent. I loved him more, you know what I mean? I had a bro love, you know what I mean? Not a sexual thing, okay? Look how George is shaking his head. Oh, God, what did I get involved with? He brings me again.
Well, there is a demographic vote for you.
I worked for the gay community for 3 years. Anyway, I want to tell you my joke. I think this week it's funny, and George, if you don't laugh, I'm going to have to just cut my wrist.
Wow, okay.
That's a high threshold.
Not the whole wrist and not both wrists. Okay, just a little.
I didn't know you were
smudge.
turning like Marilyn Manson on us, but okay.
No, I wasn't going to kill myself. Just a little prick, really. Anyways, my 23-year-old son, Yaakov, moved back into the house. And he moved in with the idea to put away money to buy himself a condo. Okay, me and Linda happy about it. We never bothered asking how long he planned to stay. He's my son. But I got a pretty good idea when Linda and I worked into his room recently on how long he's going to stay. In the corner of the room, he had a water jug with a few coins in it labeled condo down payment. So we're screwed. We are screwed if that's the way he's going to do it. So Yaakov's going to be with me till he's 46.
I think it might be a lot longer than that.
I think he's waiting for you to put a check in there.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's almost like the old piggy banks. People have piggy banks. You get like a quarter here, a quarter. That's what he's going to be doing. You know?
By the way, the person who I met, the veteran, his name was Adam Goldberg, and he emailed me today.
Oh, wow.
And he's a very nice man. And thank you for serving our country.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Veterans Day
veterans.
just passed.
Right, and thank you, veterans. And I'm sorry so many veterans are homeless, and we're going to talk about that homeless issue.
Yes.
And George, I have a problem with you. I don't understand you.
Uh-oh.
Your migrants that you allow into this city.
Wait, I let him in?
Yeah, you and your mayor. Your buddies with mayor. What's not the black?
I'm not the one who's invited to the city hall all the time.
I got you, but you were part of this thing, and you know that the migrants were given a place, a tents. They were given tents. And what happened, Tom? Tell them what happened.
Oh, now they basically
The migrants themselves left the tents. They know you can't live in a tent
left.
in the winter. They left. George.
We were talking about that, but not for nothing, though, Heshy, before you let George speak. We were talking about this on the show like 2 months ago. Remember, we were both saying, watch what happens with these migrants in these tents. Like at Floyd Bennett Field, it's going to start to get cold. Like we've just started to get that taste of
George,
winter.
you can't put
They're going to
families
leave.
in a tent. And the worst part is, if they don't go in the tent, they can't go back to the shelters because they're over the 60-day limit. They're on the street. George, we are
These
screwed.
guys, first of all, I don't think.
I'm not blaming you, but
I don't think they're going to be on the street.
Really? Where they're going?
I think a lot of them are going to end up working. They're not going to have any choice.
And where they're going to rent places. Nobody's renting to a migrant.
I'm glad
today.
you brought that up because I actually am prepared for this. And you talked about this about 5 months ago, and I can confirm this. I spoke with a constituent of yours yesterday, and she was telling me, I don't want to say where it was here in the district, but the city apparently has been contacting homeowners to give them an incentive, quote unquote. We talked about $150 to each migrant that they take in. They will give them $150
George,
a night.
Per person.
Yep.
Per person.
Per night, per day?
Per day. Now, George,
I can say it off the air who the person was.
4 people in a room. Okay, and you have 2 bedrooms. That's 8 people. I don't want to tell you how much money that is. Now, my friend has an Airbnb that they took away. They stopped Airbnb.
I got you.
Okay, they stopped it. And now he can't rent his Airbnb that he wants just $150 a day for his apartment. You're right. Instead of making $2,500, $3,000, he's making $4,500.
From what the constituent told me, Heshy, that she has been contacted on numerous occasions.
Me too.
By the city, basically for giving them.
Even for my basement use, when I told them that I can't give you the basement, it's a duplex, and it's not a separate unit. I'm not allowed to rent it out separately, and they said you can. I said, but it's illegal. I'll get an occupancy contract. He says, no, not if you give it to the program. They're allowed to break our own rules, George. And truth of the matter is, if a migrant came to me to rent without a social security number, even with a work ID number, I'm not going to rent it to him.
Or
and
a credit check. Would you have to do a credit check?
I wouldn't be able to evict him if he stopped paying. It takes me a year to evict anybody today. For sure, a migrant that's going to be fired or run around or quit his job. There's no way this is going to happen. By the way, I did skip something. When I was at the event with Dimitri yesterday at the Washington event, so I saw at a separate section, and I met this rabbi, Devorah. She gave me a phone number of a rabbi that took 170 families that had kidnapped family members into this thing. And I made a video in front of them, and they all screamed, Am Yisrael Chai, which means one big Jewish family. And we are a family. We are a family of Jews, and Jews should stick together like everybody should stick together. I believe New York is one big family. I believe New York is our neighbors. You can be 8 million people. You're still my neighbors and your friends, and we're supposed to help one another. By the way, Thanksgiving. When is Thanksgiving? Is it the last Thursday of
It's
every
next
month?
Thursday,
Oh,
actually.
it's not the 27th? I thought it's a
No,
day.
it's usually the 4th Thursday in November. So this year it falls a little earlier, but usually it's the 4th Thursday in November. So
And
you might have to get ready to cook the turkey.
a lot of people don't have money for turkeys.
Oh, well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Heshy, because I know that there are some places that are doing some turkey giveaways for the audience here.
There is, by the way, not kosher ones. I gave away 6 last year, and this year, me and Linda are going to try to give away about 12 turkeys.
Or if they want, I have a joke before you do that. You can go to Staten Island and find a bunch of turkeys, and I'm sure you can probably,
I heard they're too gamey.
Well, I have a list. If you want to email me at justenoughheshy@gmail.com, if you want to WhatsApp me at 718-288-7884.
Or stop by 5318 16th Avenue.
I have a list. You can take our
Street.
card where you can get free turkeys in Brooklyn. And this Thanksgiving, there are several local organizations that are holding free turkey giveaways next week. So make sure that everyone can have a traditional meal this Thanksgiving. With Thanksgiving down around the corner, there should be lots of reasons to be thankful. Well, not for the migrants, but whatever.
And one more time, if you want more information on that, you can contact Heshy Heshy at justenoughheshy@gmail.com.
Send me an email, and I will email you a list. I have about 16 places. Like Thursday, November 16, which is tomorrow, Assembly Member Rondi's, what's her name?
Rodney's Bashat.
Bishat, whatever. I hate her. She's giving away turkeys at 2200 Tilden Avenue.
In East Flatbush.
Councilwoman Crystal Hudson is giving away turkeys on Saturday in Prospect
Senator
Heights.
Kevin Parker of Marine Park in Flatbush.
Marine Park is giving away on
12 to 3
Saturday.
p.m.
Then you have a Methodist church at Glenwood Road. This is all over.
Yeah, we have Catellia Road. Our buddy Anthony Finkel lives right over there. Christ Espalto
You have
Church.
Good Food Pantry, a nice Christ Apologistic Church
Yep.
that I've seen. You have the Community United Turkey Free Driving by
Nikki
Assemblyman
Lucas in
Nikki
East New York.
Lucas.
Yep.
And then you have
The Brooklyn Bank Turkey Giveaway. DeKalb Avenue, Bed-Stuy.
Wednesday, next November 19th. When is that? Whatever.
I
think that's Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Sunday
coming
and
up.
then you have then again you have the Brooklyn Junction on Nostrand Avenue. the
Real World Ministry. Yep.
And there's a whole bunch more.
NYPD giveaway. We have a supermarket gift card giveaway. So if
Giveaway,
you're out
gift
there.
cards at the 9th Tabernacle Bethel at Fountain Avenue. So guys, don't be scared. Don't be embarrassed. Me and Linda, we're gonna do. I didn't want to do it, but we do a big Thanksgiving, and everybody's got to bring by our Thanksgiving. We have everybody making turkey and stuffings and the cranberries.
Do you cook the turkey? Is what I want to know.
So my sister-in-laws are half Israeli,
Okay.
and what they learned about turkeys is to burn them so badly that you lose a tooth. So
What?
and we have to eat them, but their stuffing is great. So my kids seem to like it because my kids eat anything off, even off the floor. My son says, "Oh, delicious." I said, "Mommy does not know how to cook." No, that is great. So I make the turkey nice and juicy, and I help Linda.
Any
out.
secrets to the Heshy dish for turkey?
Like the
Watch my-
KFC recipe, the secret Heshy recipe.
I told you that I'm a very good cook. I'm starting to learn to make these.
Well,
cheese
Josh Bailey,
fries.
by the way, has continued to ask me about you and the chicken cutlets. Josh Bailey.
I'm telling you, my secret chicken. You know what? I'm really
And his buddy Joe Rosas, by the way, also lives nearby. Also has been
But
saying, "Where's Heshy and the chicken cutlets?"
every Purim, which is somewhere around February, March, I let my doors open for people to come for charity and food all day long, until like about 5 o'clock, where the family comes to the Purim dinner, and I have a table set of cold cuts and my chicken cutlets that are constantly being cooked all day long and put on the plate as people keep coming out. So I'm telling you, if you want chicken cutlets,
Josh Bailey, that's you. Joe Rosas, especially, though he lost some weight, and also my friend Michael D'Elia might want some.
Okay,
apparently.
good. By the way,
I'm a little skeptical of the chicken cutlet.
He's been talking about
I
them
never
for-
heard of a Jewish guy making good chicken
no,
cutlets.
George,
Whoa.
I'm going to make you melt. I'm telling you, I'm going to melt when you eat this is Hungarian. My mother did it, and it's the best chicken.
Oh, so Hungarian.
Yes.
Okay, so there's the
It's not
secret.
from Brooklyn. It's not. Are you kidding me? This is an old family secret that dates back to when I was
Heshy-
when I was a
Heshy
kid.
recipe.
My mother made it up.
And if you want to give us a call one more time, 646-974-1580. Slow enough for you?
By the way, tonight I missed the event because I couldn't make it.
Rookie Fryer, yes.
Right? She's
Rookie
the
Fryer.
first religious Hasidic woman judge being inducted as
Supreme
a
Court.
Supreme Court judge.
Oh, wow.
I really wanted to go.
Back in
because I wanted to see the
2016, she first
ceremony,
won,
but
yeah.
I was personally invited to that.
She beat the hiking machine. Remember that? She
Yeah,
beat the hiking
yeah.
machine and that whole camp
And
there.
even now, with the people didn't want to give it to her. By the way, after the election, I still went to events. Sunday, me and my nephew did 6 events in one day. 6 events. That means I went to 100th person's birthday party.
Wow.
I swear, she was in good shape. She was delicious at one of the restaurants. I went to 2 engagement parties, 2 weddings, and a shaver brachas, which is an after
Yes.
event. And when I got home, my nephew, who was running around because he was doing the driving in and out, he says, "Heshy, I got one more. My friend is getting engaged." And when I got there, like, everybody couldn't believe he brought me there. I think he told them before, and they think I'm a celebrity.
Well, real quick, speaking of that, I actually want to give a shout out because on our home station, 620 AM, there was actually I believe a veteran who was 102 that was on this station actually being interviewed. It was, I think, Leonid something, and I forget, I apologize for the last name, it might have been Rosenberg, and he was 102, and he was actually interviewed here on our home station, so I want to make sure I
By the
plug
way,
that.
your friend Sawyer, I wasn't going to make fun of her. She was of course, now she has a radio show called Idiot Sawyer's World or something like that. So I was standing...
How many people live in Sawyer's World, too?
I don't even know. I'm standing at this event where the Jews have to be harmonious and help each other out. And, you know, I have words with Sawyer because I'm not friendly with her. I'm standing there on the street, okay, and I'm surrounded by 10 big, tough guys that love me, and about 100 kids that are screaming, Heshy Tishla, Heshy Tishla. And this idiot tall guy comes over to me, starts banging me. Oh, you starting with my mother, you better behave. I'm going to come get you, and you lost the election. And like these, I wasn't going to do anything, and all these people were screaming, "Get away from me!" But we're going to be, you know. Sawyer, we're not scared of you. We're not scared of your little retarded son. I'm sure your kids are just as stupid as you.
And before we bring the caller on, I would point out you won the election because you got the highest percentage of any non-party candidate
they were all
ever.
making fun of me.
But you
anyway.
did.
Is that true?
Yeah. I looked it up. Yeah, I mean, of non-party, not Democrat.
By the way,
no party.
Ina Vernikova, I hear there's a deal to lower her gun charge from felony to misdemeanor, which is not.
What about this petition going around? The one to security?
Right.
I never heard this before.
I love all the bad guys. Anyone that doesn't like Heshy or Heshy doesn't like them, they're my guy.
That's right.
But
it can't be mine. I can't give it to Tom. Tom's from Staten Island, so we can't be trying to blame.
I'm originally from Staten Island.
Oh, well there you go.
Sorry, you have Heidi now. You're stuck with me, okay? But I want you to know, Kalman has not even opened up the ethics committee to investigate her. Why?
Well, he can't. He actually can't.
He can't. He's got to step aside.
But he hasn't.
Because he was right there.
But he hasn't done it. I'm just telling you that it's all a game.
Now, do we have a caller on the line here?
Do we have a caller? Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, God. He's going to lose. He's pushing buttons.
Caller,
Hello?
you were on the air here with the Just Enough Heshy show. George Tom
hello?
Heshy. Hi. Who are you?
Oh, this is hello. Am I on?
Yes, and
Yes, you're
caller,
on.
who are you? How are you?
Oh, okay. This is James in Brooklyn.
Hey, James. How you doing?
Heshy,
What's on your mind?
He says he's going to go to Gaza. Something is bothering me about that. Can I ask a question about that?
Go ahead, James. Sure.
Okay, so like you go to Gaza, it's like maybe it's possible you may either witness or you may be participating in violence or shooting of possibly, I don't know, who you take for terrorists. Would it be that you hate them, or would it be like that you feel apathy? Because I think that's what's behind all of this resolve. This is not only the situation in Gaza. This is the whole COVID thing. They were repeating and repeating, safe and effective, with smiles. And now all the results are coming out. People are dying, people are suffering, and it's like that they kept up the smiles. That's like a spirit of apathy.
Well, James, I want to tell you something. I'm not going there to kill them, which would be nice if they gave me a gun. But you know that, and I would. I do.
Are you
hate
Mossad?
I happen to have cousins. But James, I'm not going there to. I'm not going there.
I'm not like partisan towards
But no,
any side.
George, I'm
It's
not
like
saying that. But James, I'm not going there.
It's a disaster, and you just basically have all these big power figures coming out on top.
And thanks for the call, James, because I think we have another caller on the line after you. So, James, we're going to have to cut you off.
I want to give James. I want to give you the answer, James. I'm not going there to kill them or to be an enemy. I'm going there as a reporter. And if you ever watch CNN or Fox News, all these reporters are reporting live from the Gaza.
That's just like, listen, Michael Graham, one of my former, people I worked for, was out there in Ukraine. He was there. So
I'm not going into the war zone. I'm going to be going with. They take reporters all the time, these soldiers, and they give them a tour of the already captured area. Of course, it'll be a little dangerous, but I'm not going into any danger territory.
Okay,
and,
caller.
And the point being is I'm going to go into to look over the situation, report live from the scene, and actually see what's going on and tell everybody the truth, because everybody's telling us these things don't happen. I'd like to see a tunnel. I'd like to see the hospital. I'm not going to the war zone itself in the center war zone. I'm going to go to Musabi in the beginning where we've captured and made it safe. That's where I'm going. I'm going as a reporter, and I'm going as a Jew. That yes, if I do, I'm not going to kill Palestinians. Please, come on.
All right, but thank you, James, for the call. So, next caller on the line here. You're on the Just Enough Heshy show with George, Tom, and Heshy. Caller, who are you?
By the
How
way,
are you?
Linda doesn't want me to go, but we'll see if Linda.
Tom,
Anthony Finkel, where have you been, man?
Anthony,
how you doing?
are you? Anthony, I do have the best chicken cutlets. Come over.
I have to try that out for myself. You got me curious. I'm and hungry now.
But remember, my chicken
But I
cutlets
wanted to
must
comment-
be
Go ahead.
eaten with ketchup. They must have ketchup.
I kind of agree with you on that, actually, but go ahead.
Okay.
I wanted to comment on the migrants and the Floyd Bennett Field situation. I mean, it was obvious from the start that once it got cold, that the tent was not going to be suitable for these guys. So again, it's just another waste of taxpayer money. I do want to give Eric Adams credit because he said if you refuse the tent, then you're not our responsibility anymore. And I think, that's a caveat that he's going to use to kind of wipe his hands clean of some of the financial responsibility.
But that doesn't help. You're putting them on the
I've
street.
been watching a bunch of his press conferences, and it seems like he's going to war with some of the progressives and the left. And, anytime he says anything that makes common sense, I say, oh, Republican talking points, this or that. But it's the truth. Like
That might be a way for him.
It's a little too late.
paying for the entire world, to house and feed the entire world. And I also think that it's pretty terrible that they would break their own laws. They would take all these Airbnbs away from investors and then turn around and try and bribe people and have them use illegal dwellings to help get rid of this crisis. I was talking with Tom off the air, and we came up with a really great idea. We were talking about Operation Tent Drop. And basically, a lot of these progressives and socialists that we have in city council, why don't we get some of these migrants, set up some tents, and set up the tents right in front of their houses where they live so that they have to walk over these guys.
We were talking about this last week,
go back and forth to work. They live in La La Land.
By the way, Anthony,
what they're doing to communities
I'm cutting you
all around
off.
the city.
Anthony, I want you to...
Thanks, Anthony, and hope you stop by one
By
of
the
these
way,
days.
Anthony, the mayor is making weddings in City Hall. Do you know about that?
No.
There's an article how the mayor has made 3 weddings, and he'd like to open it up for more weddings for
Gracie Mansion.
For Gracie Mansion.
Now, is that on your list of weddings to go to? Because you are listen, I said this to you, but I got to bring this up on the air real quick. If there was George, if there was a Guinness Book of World Records and weddings, people who've attended the most weddings, Heshy, I think you could actually win that one.
How many weddings do you think you went to in the lifetime?
I don't want to talk about my lifetime because of all my cousins and nephews and nieces.
But no, I think it's a legitimate point. The listeners want to know.
Me and Linda were laughing since like June because when we started opening the wedding halls till now, I did 104 weddings in that year alone. And then since then, Linda was counting over the invitations because we save all the invitations and cards and all my events. Linda said I did another 211 weddings, and that was without counting the last month. So you're looking at the last 3 years, I've done nearly, forget 300 weddings, forget about bar mitzvahs we forgot about, the shaver brachas, Shabbos speaking events. You're looking, it's like nonstop, and no money. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for speaking events, and it's my pleasure to go.
I think that this would be something you should consider going into the Guinness Book of Records for the most wedding appearances.
You're the Magic Johnson of weddings.
By the way, that's funny. By the way, Prospect Hall for Weddings. Eric Adams has already presided over 3 weddings at his official residence, stating he wants the People's House to be open to New Yorkers. Tents were set up outside Gracie Mansion for people attending an event that was not on the mayor's public schedule. And so I don't know how that works. Is that allowed? And why would he do it? And is there money? And is he only doing it for his friends?
I love that it's going to be the People's House, but they'll probably charge $100,000.
Hey, well, they need the money. We'll get to that in a second. But real quick, actually, one of our listeners, my buddy Joe Rosas, actually wants to ask you, because you mentioned Gaza again. He says, are you really going to Gaza?
So I'm going to go to Israel, and what do you think I'm going to do? I'm not going to go to the dangerous part of Gaza. We've already conquered most
My mother
of it.
actually asked about that also, because she brought up, did Heshy go to Israel yet? Because you were talking about it before the election.
So the problem is, I didn't know this, that no airline is flying to Israel anymore. They all airlines stopped flying except for El Al. I mean, this is the cheapest part of the year to fly to Israel, and now they're charging like $1,700, $1,800 just to go there, which I have no problem, but I have to take my nephew with me. And my nephew says, well, I'm going to drive you almost to Gaza, and then you're going to have to walk the rest of the way.
Oh, boy.
I told my nephew, I'm not taking him, the idiot. Yeah, you think I'm going to pay $1,800 on a hotel for him.
Wow.
But the resorts are open.
Is that 1,800 round trip or one way?
Round trip.
Okay.
And that's, not doing any special emergency at times or schedules. and you're talking hotel, and then you're talking car rental, and then of course I have to stop at a certain checkpoint where I do make an appointment. I already spoke to my cousin, and then I get into one of the. Well, there's a lot of volunteers are going out there to feed the soldiers. So there are Jewish people that are regular laymen like me that are going into Gaza. They're bringing food, they're bringing supplies, and there are reporters. If you watch the television, they're standing in Gaza watching the bombs go over them, but they're in a safer area over there. But yeah, anything can happen at any time. But no, there's no actual physical gunfire. We're like miles from the front line over there. And yes, I am going to go. I want to see it for myself. I want to report to my people and my community.
So when are you going exactly?
So our plan is supposedly next Thursday to arrive right before the Sabbath Friday, hang out in Jerusalem for the...
But you're going Thanksgiving?
That's the problem. My sister-in-law called me up and says, Heshy, you can't go away on Thanksgiving. I said, what's Thanksgiving? I did it with you already.
So, Heshy, I have to ask the question, and George probably won't want to agree with this or not. But
I'll prepare the turkey beforehand.
I guess then you're not going to be like Councilwoman Vernikova. We're going to need security. You're going just like you because
please. Please,
Are you bringing a gun?
They give guns, but no, I'm not going to use that. I want you, Councilwoman Vernikova that drives from her house to her boyfriend or whoever she's sleeping with, then to her office or whatever tramp that she's doing. Maybe she's doing a woman, which I don't have no problem if she's lesbian. I think she is, but I don't really care.
No, come on, stop.
Come on, please. She's still not married and she's 40-something years old.
So listen. Some people are unlucky in love.
Oh, my producer's shaking his finger. He's shutting me off. I'm not saying anything wrong. I have no problem if you're gay. I accept it.
So I think basically...
And this is why we need a lawyer with Heshy on time.
Where are you, Nicole? We need you, Nicole. Get me out of trouble, Nicole.
Nicole will definitely talk about that next week. So to do you a favor, Heshy, we want to talk about the city budget because...
But do you know how much money her protection is going to cost us? Tens of thousands of dollars a month. How much money over budget are we, Tom?
We're going to be $14 billion next year.
Moment. Say the number again. I want to make sure that George hears it, because when George wants a raise, he's not getting any.
$14 billion.
$14 billion. Oh, we don't know where to get the $14 billion, but I know where to get it. You know where we're going to get it? Since we have crime, we don't need police officers. Since we have, rape, robberies, and of course, we don't need any more cops. And we also, I forgot, listen to this. Tom, tell them how we're going to cut the budget by firemen and police.
So we're doing 5% now, 5% January, 5% in May. And this is how we're going to get there. George and I were talking about this off the air. We were preparing for the show. An NYPD hiring freeze, school safety agents, all that's going to be cut. We have
school safety down 25%.
School safety.
And Adams wants parents to step up and make up the difference.
Go ahead. Keep going.
$2.1 billion cut to education. You know the UFT ain't going to be crazy about that.
Our kids are not stupid enough.
And there's
you know
more.
What I mean? My plumber who can't even read English is now for sure not going to be able to
Well, don't worry.
pass.
He's not going to be able to read English because they're going to do away with the
reading.
reading.
He's not going to be able to make money. He'll be homeless because he won't know how to bill, and he charges me a lot of money.
I have $800
But that's good. Maybe I won't have to pay it.
$800 million in homeless services, $300 million to fire.
800 million, say it again?
$800 million to homeless services.
As it is, we have a problem with the homeless.
Yep.
Go ahead.
$300 million to fire. $200 million.
Fire.
Yep.
Put out your own fire.
Maybe the Jimi Hendrix song can play in loop. $200 million in city hospitals. $1.4 billion in social services.
How much in hospitals?
$200 million.
Some of these hospitals are like
overstaffed to begin with.
Oh, is that really? Because every time you go to an emergency room, you got to wait like 3 days before you see a doctor.
That's what it is. They're just,
And these hospitals are making...
And the last one was 15% to nonprofits.
Well, there's a lot of...
Well, we're going to see which nonprofits, because the ones that are really profitable, my friend Neil used to tell me, the best business is a nonprofit business. That's it. You make more money there. And I bet you it's only going to be like, Greenfield gave a lot of money to a lot of our nonprofits. Those guys who have the power won't lose. It'll be the little nonprofits that are going to lose out on that. And here's my point to you. Okay, we're going to lose police, but you know how we're going to make up the money, Tom? There's a new task force being made called the bus.
I thought we were going to make it up with weddings at City Hall.
I think, George, your idea was pretty good there. 100,000 of whatever
It's the people's house,
Right. No, but they're creating a new task force that will just go and monitor bus lanes. That if you're in a bus lane or you're driving in a bus lane, you get a $115 ticket, and they can even tow your car. That's what it is. We're going to create a task force for bus lanes and all over the city. This is where we're spending our money, and what are you going to get? How much you think revenue you're going to get from all these cops that are in these task
It's
force?
death by 1,000 cuts. It's small little cuts.
That's a good line.
You know?
That's a good line.
You know, it's congestion pricing, give people all these nuisance tickets.
Right.
And
The garbage fee.
Garbage.
with the
Just want you to
bins.
know, they gave Purim. They gave my entire avenue, not my block, the entire avenue. I would say there's 10 houses on a block, maybe about 20 blocks. So you're looking at somewhere around 200-300 homes got garbage tickets between $50 and $100. And then they went to 16th Avenue. And now many years ago, I was arrested.
Notice they don't do that in Brownsville.
Right, you don't. You don't. But over here, but it's not that one. It's every house got a criminal ticket. Every house got this garbage ticket, and if you don't pay it, you get fined from $50 to or $100 to $300 to $400. And people not going to fight it. You know, like, who has the time? So I took on a bunch of them. You know, about 30 of them, and I won them all. I didn't get. Not everybody came to me because they all went to our councilman Kalman Yeager, who doesn't pick up the phone, and he didn't. Do
I actually
nothing
can
for them at the end.
verify that for you because I don't want to say who it was, but I was speaking to a constituent 2 days ago, and the constituent actually said that she had tried to contact your competitor, and he doesn't pick up the phone.
He doesn't
I can
pick up
actually
the-
verify.
What
it.
does that mean? Like, guys, I'm
He
sorry.
doesn't pick up the phone.
So he doesn't have staff?
He does, and they don't pick up the. Did you
No.
ever call the building department? They have $1 billion budget. They're billing out. They're fining us last year over I think it was $3.3 billion. The biggest agency, I think number 2 on the list to bring a profit into the New York City. You call the building department, they have people sitting there doing nothing. I know, I watch them. They don't pick up the phone. Something's calling an entire day. One day, the girl picked up. I said, "What happened? Nobody picked up the phone the whole day yesterday." "Well, I was off yesterday, and today I'm working out of the house, so I can't transfer any calls for you, but I can send an email." I said, "I understand that. I'm calling the building department, a city agency that doesn't pick up, and something's I have to push there." And I know because I work with the building department, sometimes hours, over and over again, to order an inspection, to review it, sending emails. "Did you get my stuff?" Something's for 2-3 days. You can't get through. And these are government agencies. Forget the Department of Finance. Never will you ever get through.
Before we
Well,
lose
there's no accountability.
Now,
I mean,
before
come on,
Heshy,
you know.
we lose our listeners. I don't 620, 1640 AM, and 93.5 FM. I wanted to talk about very quickly the U.S. budget agreement that avoids the shutdown. Want to talk about that? So obviously here
But before you do that, I want to ask you a question, Tom.
ask me 1,000.
Columbia University and George are going to.
I'm an NYU boy.
Good. I'm happy about that. They are going to sanction these student groups for doing these anti-Semitic protests. Now they're protesting that they're being sanctioned, so they're still protesting. So what happened? Nothing happened. So they're still letting them protest. So what? What are you doing to them? You're cutting their groups. So now they're coming as individuals. We don't.
It's
win.
almost like they're wanting them to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It almost makes kind of like a
Well, I
backhanded
mean,
way.
They should have them arrested.
how crazy do these protests get in Colombia?
They do. They scream. They holler. Come on. They even the
But we-
Jewish.
But people are allowed to scream and holler.
But what was it last week when somebody was trapped in the library?
Right.
Well, that one was messed up, but that was Cooper Union.
The point is that
And
these
they- and
places
they
are
locked
going
up those
on.
people.
If you get away with one, you get away with another.
No, you can listen. I believe people have the right to scream and yell and do whatever you want. But when you cross, you break somebody's window, you hurt people, you lock people up in a building.
You see the
that's
pictures.
no bueno.
You see the
Yeah.
Palestinians covering their faces, attacking Jews. You see
No,
them
that's no
going,
good.
ripping
That's
down
not- that's-
signs. I'm so proud. I was talking to Dimitri in Sheepshead Bay. Some pig was ripping down the signs.
Yes, I
from
saw
the
it.
wall,
I saw that.
And a couple of those Russian boys just came out and kicked the
I'm just
crap
going to
out
say
of them.
Russians with tracksuits to give you a
Right.
little more imagery.
Those guys did not care. You videotape us.
I can totally
And like
picture that.
I thought they'd be scared of videotaping. You videotape us how we beat this guy.
Well,
And they didn't beat him. They beat him to the ground. I was like, I couldn't believe
Well,
it.
Nicole was talking about that there was actually some, I think, of these flyers being posted with underneath like chains or something. Isn't that
No,
changed.
she said
It's
razor blades.
Razor blades, all right.
And I'm ashamed to tell you, we have video of a Jewish guy ripping down signs as well. Now, we don't know if he was really Jewish. They're saying he was Arabic, but he looked real Jewish
Oh,
to me.
that video I sent you, that guy
Yeah.
looked Hasidim
Yeah,
or
yeah. I was disappointed.
Yeah, he didn't look. I mean, I'm not
He
an
looked
expert.
Jewish to me.
He did look Jewish
he
to you?
did. And the way he was dressed, there was no way the Arabic could have really put that together in this time, AJ. But you wanted to tell us something, Tom.
Yeah, I know we have a few seconds left before our listeners sign off on the radio, but this U.S. Budget agreement, which avoids a shutdown here, basically it seems like it keeps the current spending levels, but the key thing that was taken off the table for now, and they're going to renegotiate after Thanksgiving, was funding to Ukraine and Israel.
Yeah, that's what they're worried about. $1 trillion budget, and you took away what, $100 billion?
106, I think it was.
Yeah.
106.
I'm going to be a little bit outside the box here. I think the funding to the Ukraine is going down the black hole.
Yeah.
We have no accountability. No,
Nothing.
where's the money going?
Israel does have.
At least with Israel, we're going to get some kind of reporting.
I want to say goodbye to our listeners who are our listeners.
620 WSNR, 1640 AM WJPR, 93.5 FM WVIP.
You guys, if we're not on there, you can always listen to us on YouTube, Facebook,
YouTube,
Instagram.
backspace,
well,
just
I
enough
don't know
Heshy
when I get the Instagram working.
YouTube, backspace, just enough Heshy 7005, and thank you for your support this year.
Just for your knowledge, those cops that we're going to be cutting down in the budget, George, and the cops that you're creating a task force, this week you had kids who beat up officers. The assault happened a couple of days after a uniformed NYP lieutenant was attacked by two men on the subway. And then some officers told some kids to stop smoking. They just went and they beat them up. I mean, they're saying every New Yorker should be petrified. I don't need
know what it tells me?
I don't need security, but me and you, George, we're big guys. Tom knows his karate chopping, you know what I mean? So
I did take karate, by the way. I actually do know a little bit about
but
that.
there are people not like us who can't protect themselves, like my plumber. He's not too bright. And what happens?
He's actually in the back.
I know, he's in the back.
I don't know if you should be messing around with your plumber that much.
I'm not. That's why he's not fixing my leak in the house. He
So
says,
you know what you're saying, Heshy? Are you saying that the NYPD is the equivalent of mall cops these days? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that that's basically they have
I'm
no
embarrassed
power?
to say. I'm embarrassed to say, yeah.
And by the way, Anthony,
It's not out of choice though. It's because the city council has put all these rules on top of them, and it's very hard for them to act.
We need to make a change of our city council. They're a bunch of losers.
And real quick, two things. I want to get to two comments real quick. Infinite Justice MDV talk about the contempt of the taxpayer, about the city budget. And Anthony Finkel approves of you, George, being as a co-host. He says
Thank
you're
you.
funny. So
Thank you very
Anthony
much.
Finkel,
I appreciate
he
that.
says that he's looking forward to meeting you actually after Thanksgiving. He
But
wants to
by
stop
the way,
the office,
no
by
problem.
the way, I watched the video, and I'm going
Okay.
to repeat it again. When they got into the hospital in Gaza, they showed tunnels. They showed signs. They showed all the cameras being covered so you couldn't even look into the thing there. The terrorists were using the hospital as a cover shield of human shields. So whatever the world, I don't understand why the world still doesn't see this. How much more evidence do they want, George? How much more evidence?
By the way,
do
using
you
a
want?
hospital as cover is a clear war crime.
Right, but you're busy saying, by the way, George, I don't know what the meaning of apartheid is, and I'm asking this to Tom as well. Apartheid is when you take a people and you degrade them. When you split the system and don't share. We gave them food, we gave them oil, we even let them work with
apartheid
us.
is a system where the black, the way South Africa used to work, the black people would live here, white people would live here, and you couldn't.
But you couldn't even work for one another or stores. Israel allows them to become citizens if they want. But they don't want to be citizens, and they want a different set of.
Hey, how about we talked about
Do you know that
What's
they have
the
a
most
separate set of license plates?
What's the most shocking to me is that the left constantly attacks Israel, but Israel is the most progressive state.
I was going to say the same thing. For Palestine, what they want to do to those people, and these people that are going saying free Palestine don't realize what that government.
What about when it's LGBT for Palestine? I'm
Nicole was
like,
talking about it last week.
are you guys crazy? You know,
And I want you to know, the person who finally, a terrorist all his life, Yasser Arafat, we hated him like you've never seen before. At the end, he finally made peace. He shook hands with his enemy. The enemy, Bibi and Yitzhak Rabin and all the people who hated Arafat that he fought all his life said, you know what? And Arafat really, I believe, even though he stole $5 billion, but he did it. He actually did it. He said, you know what? It's time to stop the war. And Arafat did have peace with Israel for those 4 or 5 years. Arafat and the Jews were at peace. Two terrorist groups, both sides fighting each other, calm and peaceful. And what did the Palestinians do? And now I was watching a report yesterday on TV again. They actually poisoned Arafat. They poisoned and killed the leader that gave them a chance to have a two-state solution. But again, they don't want a two-state solution. They want all the Jews dead. Like yesterday, I was interviewing these people. No Jews to live in Israel. No state of Israel. No compromise. And the guy said, Jews have to surrender. Surrender. Not just give back to the land or even give back, or we go back to the 1967 borders. Surrender all of Israel to the Palestinians.
Who said that?
One of my Jewish...
Oh, the...
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
God.
watched that, Heshy. I was like...
I know.
You sat there and you let them speak, and I don't know, Heshy.
They are very...
Do you think during World War II there was Jews that were like, the Nazis aren't that bad?
We did. We had capos. We had capos that joined the Nazi ranks.
Really?
And they got diamonds and jewelry and gifts and more. Sometimes the lower ones got food, but they were worse to the Jews as capos, which was the police, than the Nazis themselves. They treated us even worse than the Nazis, and they're the ones when they were stealing your diamonds or your gold teeth or whatever they ripped out of you. They pocketed some so they can bribe the Nazi guards later on that were watching them.
I don't know. That's some just enough sick news there. And last comment: Arafat kept launking terror attacks, according to a Finnish
Yes, he
FMTV.
did. Yes, he did. Anyways, thank you for listening to our show,
Can't wait for next
everybody.
week.
And we'll see you again next week. And happy... we're going to...
We're one more show before Turkey Day, so
We're one show before Thank
we'll
You
be here
Day.
Wednesday with the.
And Nicole will be back?
And Nicole will be back.
Josh Bailey's getting ready to come
For the
over here.
prospective
Don't
grooms.
forget about before we go off, tell everybody about Crossroads one more time.
Crossroads Recovery Rehab Center. It's ready to help you start your path to recovery from substance abuse. We specialize in medication-assisted treatment. We are dedicated to providing the most accessible, convenient, comprehensive, and high-quality care available. We're in Toms River, New Jersey, 751 Route 37 West. Toms River, New Jersey, 08755.
Tom, I want you to get a phone number and an email.
Yes,
for
we'll have
next
that.
week.
Well,
And
Nicole
also
will
get
give
a
that to us.
picture to send over to the producer so he can post
Well, that
it
was
up.
basically me doing the research
Right,
for Nicole.
I got
so.
you. Anyways, thank you, everybody. Listen to the show again next week.
One
we'll
more
be
time.
back.
Play that music.
Play that music.
Play that funky music.